years.
Well, what we're saying here, though, is, right now, there's 3/4, but really only half of that, 3/8, is going to the debt service on the bonds.
We got that, yeah.
And he's got to have that to operate the jail and to operate.
But if you don't have a jail, you're not having an operation.
Well, they can operate the county government. And what you're doing is, if the bondholders come in and take all 3/4, well, he takes the hit on his jail.
But that's what we voted, was all to go to the jail, though, was our understanding.
I have seen.
I have seen. The other is just an insufficiency claim. It's there in the event that you don't have that on the half cent. I'm good.
And we haven't drawn on that yet, and we don't want to, because we know the commissioners need that.
Well, it sounds like we need to study this a little closer, I think. I mean, there's a lot of, 10,000 to 40,000 as far as operation, that's a big thing.
Well, you need to understand, and if you look at this chart, the sheriff gets money from the county general fund, and then there's money that comes in off this. Say we get this increase, that's a pledge, and if you add those two together, you'll find that that's about what he needs. That is what, maybe a little more than he needs to operate his department and run the jail. Now, and the good thing about it is that just raises all the ships, because it allows them to not have to come up with quite so much money out of their general fund as far as the sheriff's department is concerned, and it gets these bonds paid off at the earliest possible moment, gets them out of here. So we don't have to mess with this anymore.
But didn't you think the same thing last summer?
Well, no, we were just trying last summer to survive, because we had a debt amortization schedule that every year increased and increased and increased, because the financial advisor at the time thought the sales tax was going to increase, not decrease by 35%.
So we just kicked the can down the road last summer.
Exactly. We
And
kicked the can down the road, trying to survive.
But is there any reason to believe we're not just doing that again, and we're back here in 2 or 3 years?
Sure there is. Sure there is.
Because it only will take 10,000 to run the jail instead of 40. Okay, we got that working for us.
You're saying that wrong. They still get $30,000 from the general fund, which goes into his budget.
But I'm saying you
He's
got.
only getting $10,000 from sales tax. I hadn't changed it.
We get a half cent, 3/8 cents dedicated to the jail if this proposition passes, correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Well, according to this spreadsheet again, we have a half cent and 3/8 cents that will be dedicated for operation.
I don't know what you're looking for.
I'm just giving, that's what I'm giving.
Yeah, I know, but he's looking on the wrong side of the equation.
What's your projected sales tax revenue in year one with the half cent?
Oh, that's the same thing you got there. You got in front of you.
And the other sales tax, existing sales tax.
Yeah. In 15, we've got 437,437 available. In year 16, if this passes, we will have $773,796 available.
And the debt service requirement is approximately 560,000. Is that correct?
Well, it's right at 600,000 when you add the interest in for the junior.
In 16. So that leaves a surplus of 173, and I go back to my other point, it costs $480,000 to run the jail. And the commissioners tell us they don't have money in the general fund to supplement.
No, I said we put, 225,000 in there this year. And then you had 173 to it.
Mr. Mallon?
Yes.
Where are y'all wanting to run your sales tax?
when we complete our strategic and business planning, we can come to the public and say, this is exactly what the money and funds will be used for, this is what you can expect it to be.
I was reading this, the editor's note, according to the election board, there's an option to stop the November 10th election and conduct one on January the 12th if the election was conducted in January. That would allow time up to November 12th to review other options. What's that all about? Somebody answer that
Well,
for me.
the Board of Commissioners did that, I guess, I don't know who wrote that.
Well, it says it's from Stigler News Center.
Well, they wrote it, we didn't.
Meeting scheduled to discuss new sales tax.
I think somebody did some research and that the vote that they've actually already passed in order to be on the ballot in November, I don't know if my date's right, November, that the election board said that if you want to pull that back, you can still have an election in January. So that's about 60 days. Wouldn't cost the county any more money to do that. And that would give 60 days to look at other options and figure out if we're doing something smart or not. And so that was the purpose of that. Now, I know there's talk that, well, that's waiting 60 more days to start making these payments. But I think, you know, everybody'd be patient if we came up with a good plan and everybody was comfortable with. It's going to sting. This thing's going to sting us all somewhere. But what's a smart place for it to sting and not a dumb place where we're right back here again? I just don't have any confidence that we're not going to be all of us back in this room again in 2 or 3 years doing the same thing, because we're doing the same thing and not getting any different results. So that's the purpose of that. So I don't know if it's time, but I'd like to suggest that the county commissioners postpone that until that December or whatever that date is, and pull the action down for now on the ballot.
As a taxpayer, I'll say,
And it's on the agenda for them to vote on.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
We paid basically $4 million since April of '07. Why have we only paid the jail off $700,000? Where did the rest of that money go? We have such good rates on our bonds.
Well, and you'll have to look at the amortization schedule, just like your house payment.
Yeah. This is what they give from the courthouse. He said payments from '07 to 2015, $397,000. That's the most of what we paid you. I don't know if that's right, Joe. It's just what I'm hearing. How much have we paid you since this thing started? How much have we increased our loan?
But I don't, you'd have to look at the amortization schedule too.
So that's what the lady at the courthouse gave Jim Ball. That's what we have paid. So why are we still so high when we paid so much?
Well, like I said, if you look at the amortization schedule on your house, you pay forever and ever and ever before you start.
Because I figured more I could pay for the principal.
So it just amortizes out. And all I can tell you is this thing pays off in 20 years if the tax goes away.
Everybody's.
Yeah, if we keep raising taxes, it'll pay itself off. How many times have we had to raise taxes?
Does anybody have any more direct questions for the bond attorneys? Brad?
Okay, we kind of went through something similar with the hospital, the county hospital. We maneuvered, we fought, scratched, and ultimately we ended up selling it. Two questions. Can anybody in this room tell me what the total debt on the jail is? If Foster Johnson wanted to pay that debt off today, what does that look like? And secondly, is that an option? If these private industries are making money off the jails, can we not solicit them to buy this thing? We'll take the hit on it, Bill's right, no matter which way we look at it, but I don't have the confidence. If y'all's projections are 30 grand off a month, not pointing the finger, but it's a fact, we've seen 10 grand and 40 grand thrown up here. If sales tax continues to plummet 35% like it did since 2009, I'm not comfortable with anybody's projection. Let's deal with what we have right now, what we owe. Is it an option to sell this jail to a private industry at a loss, and the taxpayers take the lump and we all take care of it that way instead of going out for another $6 million, maybe we get out for $2 million?
This state
she researched it.
Anita there.
Yeah, she's got.
We have tried that. We've contacted several different private prisons. We've tried everything.
And this is the purpose of having 2 months. I don't think we sit in a vacuum for 2 months. We ask the commissioners to appoint maybe a group of people, to take a look at this, look at what our options are. I mean, you know, they're self-admitted, they're not experts in this stuff. It's all just in our laps. I mean, they is we, and we just gotta figure out, you know, the best way to wrestle it to the ground. And so I'd like to see it postponed at least 2 months, and then the commissioners appoint a committee or someone, they're, I guess, the trustees of the jail, but start having some meetings and explore some of this stuff and not go so much on hearsay or gossip or what happened. And I know Paul's tried to get answers from the state and hadn't been successful, but I guarantee if enough of us call up there, that we're paying for those resources. There ought to be people who come down here and tell us how to put this thing together, and there's other jails that have been operated successfully. But I think we're just going back in to ask for the same problem again, just further we go.
He didn't get his question answered. He was talking to these guys.
But
I'm waiting to hear what they've got to say about it. I mean,
How much do we owe?
We've already said 6.18.
is that with the little June, that's payoff for everything?
No.
That's just the big one, right? You still owe 450 more. Yeah, how much is it? 450, so you might as well add that into your figure that you just given.
So you're back to the 72.
That's exactly right.
Right.
So you're saying, from a statute perspective, the county could consider selling the jail less than book value or asset value?
Well, the Constitution requires that the county have a jail in the county seat of every county in the state, and that means a county jail.
We can
That being
still
said,
sell this jail and open a 2-room jail. There's nothing
yeah.
as far as legislative.
It goes back to cutting our losses. That's what we want to consider as an option. Maybe we can do a smaller jail for a fraction of the cost. I don't know. We just need to consider it as an option, not prohibition.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you gonna build another jail?
I think Brad asked the question if it was possible to sell it to a private agency. Is that a possibility? And I'm wondering, because I've heard out in the community that the jail was not built to the standards that a private facility would have to have it to in order to purchase it. Is that a possibility or
No.
not?
Ryan can answer this, but it's through the hiring of nurses, educators. I mean, you have to educate these prisoners. You have to have a nurse, a dietitian. You have to, am I right, Brian? I mean, you have to hire like another $50,000 worth of people a month to be eligible to get these people. I mean, you just can't take them. You got to educate them, give them all these options. Have those prisoners.
What was your question? Could it be sold to a private entity?
No.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Could it be sold to a private
Well,
entity?
certainly I think it's possible to lease it to a private entity, and that's what they want to do, probably is lease it. And I think you can explore the possibility of leasing it to them at an amount that's sufficient to make the debt service payments.
Bill, if we do what you're asking to do by putting the vote off and giving us 60 days, since the county brought this sales tax up first, will the city stipulate they will not try to pass the sales tax until we get this matter settled?
I've got no standing with the city. I can't answer that.
I'm talking to Mr. Mauser now, though. I'm just,
I've had discussions with council, and the answer is yes, in that we don't do things in a vacuum. And we had over 70 people in this building less than 2 weeks ago talking about the economic development strategic plan. And as stated earlier, when we present the plan, everyone will know what it is for. And I think we gain nothing by beating the county to the punch.
well, I'm not trying to put you down. I mean, this is something that's important because when it goes away, there's lots of landowners in here that we're going to take the brunt of this. You understand what I'm wondering, because I don't want it to get, if you pass yours before they get a chance to pass yours, it's history.
Johnny, I'm on the city council, 1 of 4, so I'm just speaking on, just as one vote. Promise you on my word, we won't try and jump in and ahead of anybody. I've known Bobby long enough that he won't try and do that either.
I could have already done it.
Yeah. I understand, but
I could've done it months ago.
But with
I mean, this
us,
is-
with you trying to with them trying to postpone it, there's usually
Y'all
a,
hadn't tried,
you know,
filed anything?
a balance.
I haven't done a thing.
I believe, I just thought, I thought we had already done it.
No, if we were gonna do it, we'd have done it months ago.